You've been told to avoid bread, rice, and potatoes if you have diabetes or insulin resistance. But let's be honest, these are staple foods in almost every cuisine around the world. Completely cutting them out long term? Not realistic. Not sustainable. And honestly, not necessary. Here's the truth. You can eat these foods safely if you know the right strategies. I'm going to show you exactly how to enjoy carbohydrates without sending your blood sugar on a dangerous roller coaster ride. Today, I'm covering 6 powerful science-backed techniques that will help you flatten those glucose spikes after meals and actually improve your insulin resistance over time. These aren't theories. These are strategies backed by clinical trials and research that you can start using today. Important disclaimer. While I share evidence-based health information, I'm not your personal doctor. Please consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or medication regimen. Let me introduce you to one of the most powerful but least known tools for blood sugar control-resistant starch. Normal starches like those in fresh bread, pasta, and rice break down quickly into glucose, causing rapid blood sugar spikes. These repeated spikes drive insulin resistance, exhaust your pancreas, and make diabetes progressively worse. But resistant starch is completely different. Your digestive enzymes simply can't break it down efficiently. Instead of spiking your blood sugar, resistant starch travels to your large intestine where beneficial gut bacteria ferment it. This fermentation process produces short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which improves insulin sensitivity throughout your body, reduces inflammation at the cellular level, nourishes your colon cells and supports gut health, and slows glucose absorption dramatically. Here's the game changer: cool your starchy foods, then reheat them before eating. When you cook starches like rice, potatoes, or pasta and then cool them, something magical happens. Part of the starch crystallizes into a resistant form through a process called starch retrogradation. The starch molecules realign into crystalline structures that resist digestion in your small intestine. The research is clear. Multiple studies show that cooling cooked rice or potatoes to 39F for 24 hours significantly increases resistant starch content compared to freshly cooked versions. Clinical results show that eating cooled and reheated rice or potatoes leads to dramatically reduced post-meal glucose spikes, lower insulin responses, and better overall blood sugar control. Here's how to apply this at home. Cook your rice, potatoes, or pasta as usual. Cool them in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours or freeze them, then reheat thoroughly before eating. Yes, the texture might be slightly different, but the metabolic benefits are too significant to ignore. You can still enjoy your favorite foods just with a simple preparation twist. You can also add foods that are naturally high in resistant starch beans and lentils like chickpeas, black beans, and kidney beans, green peas, whole grains like oats and barley, green unripe bananas, and cooked and cooled legumes. We rarely eat carbohydrates in isolation, and that's actually a good thing. What you eat alongside your carbs can dramatically change your glucose response. A comprehensive meta-analysis of 154 trials revealed something remarkable. Adding protein to a carbohydrate meal can reduce the glucose area under the curve by up to 50% in healthy adults. Protein slows digestion, triggers incretin hormones, and moderates how quickly glucose enters your bloodstream. Fat also plays a crucial role by delaying gastric emptying, improving insulin clearance, and supporting pancreatic beta cell function. This is why you should avoid naked carbs, carbohydrates eaten alone without protein or fat. Instead of plain white rice, try rice with beans for protein and fiber. Instead of a plain baked potato, try potato with butter or olive oil for healthy fat. Instead of toast alone, have toast with eggs or avocado for protein and fat. Instead of plain pasta, try pasta with meat sauce and vegetables. These combinations produce much gentler, sustained glucose curves instead of dangerous spikes. Add acidic foods to your meals for even better results. Vinegar, especially apple cider vinegar, lemon or lime juice, and fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickles. Acids work by slowing the rate at which starch breaks down, improving insulin sensitivity in muscle tissue, and reducing glucose production in the liver. Simple application. Add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to water and drink it before meals, or dress your salad with vinegar-based dressing. This strategy is almost too simple to believe, but the science is solid. The order in which you eat your food matters tremendously. Starting your meal with bread, juice, or other carbohydrates causes a sharp, immediate glucose peak. Your body gets overwhelmed with sugar all at once. When you eat protein and vegetables first, then finish with carbohydrates, your stomach releases a much slower, steadier mix of glucose into the intestines. You absorb glucose much more gradually, and you get a completely different glucose curve from the exact same food. A randomized controlled crossover trial showed that people with type 2 diabetes who ate protein and vegetables before carbohydrates experienced 40% lower glucose area under the curve and 31% lower insulin response. A recent Japanese study using continuous glucose monitors confirmed that eating rice last significantly reduced post-meal glucose spikes in healthy adults. Restaurants often bring bread or chips before your salad or main course. Here's what to do. Politely ask them to hold the bread until your entree arrives. Start with your salad with oil-based dressing. Eat your protein like meat, fish, or eggs. Then eat any carbohydrates like rice, potatoes, or bread. It's a tiny behavioral change with massive metabolic benefits. The ideal eating order is: first, non-starchy vegetables like salad, broccoli, leafy greens. Second, protein like meat, fish, eggs, tofu. Third, healthy fats, if not already included. And last, carbohydrates like rice, bread, potatoes, pasta. Want to slash your blood sugar spike by a significant amount? Take a walk immediately after eating. Randomized controlled trials consistently show that just a 10-minute walk immediately after a meal can dramatically lower post-meal glucose levels. You don't need intense exercise. Light activity works: walking, which is most studied and easiest, cleaning the kitchen, climbing stairs, gentle stretching, or yard work. The key timing is to walk as soon as possible after your meal, ideally within 15 minutes of finishing. Walking activates your soleus muscle, the powerful calf muscle running from just below your knee to your heel. This muscle is a metabolic powerhouse because it soaks up glucose incredibly quickly from your bloodstream. It's composed of slow-twitch fibers that can sustain contractions for long periods without fatigue, and it burns glucose continuously during prolonged activity. Think of your soleus muscle as a glucose sponge. Every step you take after eating squeezes that sponge, pulling sugar out of your blood and into your muscle cells where it's burned for energy. Make it a habit. After breakfast, take a 10-minute neighborhood walk. After lunch, walk around the office or building. And after dinner, take an evening stroll with family or pets. The consistency matters more than the intensity. Even gentle movement makes a significant difference. Many people say, just cut out all carbs to reverse diabetes and fix insulin resistance. But that's missing the point. It's not carbs per se, it's the type of carbs that cause problems. Not all carbohydrates are created equal. The level of processing determines how fast they're absorbed and how hard they hit your bloodstream. Highly processed carbs equal fast absorption and blood sugar spikes, These include white bread, instant oats, white rice, cereals, pastries, chips, and crackers. These are milled into fine powder that digests extremely quickly. Minimally processed carbs equals slow absorption and gentle glucose curves. These include steel-cut oats, whole grain bread, brown or wild rice, quinoa, barley, and intact grains. Think of it like a fire-fine flour, like white bread, cereal, and pastries is like sawdust. It burns fast and hot, creates a sudden intense flame, and dies out quickly. Translation: sharp glucose spike and crash. Whole grains like steel-cut oats and intact grains are like logs. They burn slowly and evenly, provide sustained steady heat, and last much longer. Translation: gentle, sustained glucose curve. Fiber is the most important carbohydrate you don't want to miss, even on a low-carb diet. Benefits of high-fiber carbs include dramatically slowing glucose absorption, feeding beneficial gut bacteria, improving insulin sensitivity, supporting digestive health, increasing satiety so you feel full longer, and reducing inflammation. Smart carb swaps. Instead of white rice, choose brown rice, wild rice, or cauliflower rice. Instead of white bread, choose whole grain bread or sourdough. Instead of instant oatmeal, choose steel-cut oats. Instead of regular pasta, choose whole wheat pasta or legume-based pasta. Instead of white potatoes, choose sweet potatoes that are cooled and reheated. Instead of cereal, choose overnight oats with nuts and seeds. Here's a critical factor most people ignore. The when matters almost as much as the what. The later you eat, the worse your glucose response, even if you're eating the exact same food. Our bodies follow a circadian rhythm that affects metabolism. Insulin sensitivity decreases in the evening. Pancreatic insulin secretion declines as the day progresses. Melatonin levels rise at night, which further reduces insulin secretion, and less insulin plus the same amount of carbs equals higher blood sugar. Multiple studies confirm that eating close to bedtime significantly worsens your body's ability to process glucose, regardless of what you eat. Eat your last meal at least 3 hours before bedtime. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., finish dinner by 7 p.m. If you go to bed at 11 p.m., finish dinner by 8 p.m. Additional evening strategies include making breakfast or lunch your largest meal when insulin sensitivity is highest, keeping dinner lighter and lower carb, and if you must snack late, choosing protein or fat like nuts, cheese, or Greek yogurt. Avoid all carbohydrates within 3 hours of sleep. You don't need to implement all 6 strategies at once. Start with 2-3 that seem easiest for you, then gradually add more. In week 1 to 2, start eating vegetables and protein before carbs. Take a 10-minute walk after dinner, and move dinner 1 to 2 hours earlier. In week 3 or 4, begin cooling and reheating rice and potatoes. Add beans or lentils to meals, and try steel-cut oats for breakfast. In week 5 to 6, add vinegar or lemon to meals. Always pair carbs with protein and fat, and replace refined grains with whole grains. Ongoing, monitor your blood sugar before and after meals. Notice which strategies work best for your body, and make adjustments based on your results. You do not have to give up bread, rice, and potatoes to manage your blood sugar or reverse insulin resistance. You just need to be strategic about how you prepare them with cooling and reheating for resistant starch. What you eat with them, including protein, fat, fiber, and acid. When you eat them because order matters and timing matters. What you do after eating by walking for 10 minutes. The quality you choose between whole versus processed. And when during the day, because earlier is better. These strategies are backed by solid science, easy to implement, and they work. Start today with these simple actions. Tonight at dinner, eat your salad first, then protein, then carbs last. After dinner, take a 10-minute walk. This weekend, cook extra rice, cool it, and use it for next week. Tomorrow, add a tablespoon of vinegar to your lunch. Small changes compound into massive results. Your blood sugar, your pancreas, and your long-term health will thank you. Remember, these strategies support your health goals, but always work with your healthcare provider to optimize your individual treatment plan. What works for one person may need adjustment for another. Now go enjoy that rice, bread, or potatoes the smart way.